Good evening and welcome to Villa Park, the venue for the 2022 Birmingham Senior Cup final. Well, COVID-19 may have had its say on the delaying of this competition for the past 2 years, but finally regional destiny comes knocking and the stage is set at one of England's most historic footballing venues as Villa Park plays host to the 135th Birmingham Senior Cup final in a showdown between Leamington and Stourbridge. One side are looking to retain the regional title, whilst the other will be hoping that they can steal the cup back from its holders after observing a 4-year absence of the trophy from their cabinet. After emerging victorious over Nuneaton at St Andrews all the way back in May 2019, Leamington have remained holders of the Birmingham Senior Cup by default, as the pandemic has seen the competition abandoned over the past 2 years. Retaining the Birmingham Senior Cup would be the jewel in the crown of a successful campaign after the Breaks secured yet another season in the National League North. The team standing between Leamington and their 8th Birmingham Senior Cup title is a side which the Breaks are all too familiar with, having developed a fierce rivalry with the Glass Boys down the years. Joint management team of Leon Broadhurst and Stuart Pierpoint have both had spells under the man in the opposite dugouts, so secrets and surprises between the sides will be few and far between, I'm sure. This is Stourbridge's 10th Birmingham Senior Cup final, and they're hoping to snatch the title back for a 5th time after their last final win, which came in 2018. Well, no, Leamington here looking for their 8th Birmingham Senior Cup with Joe Clark with an early bit of showboating with a scorpion kick, but Rhys Dyche can open his legs down the left-hand side, breaking into the penalty area. He's got Jack Lane to beat, goes towards the near post and drags it wide.
Well, the interesting thing was that Dyche had Lane for pace though, didn't he? Couple of touches and he was away from Lane pace-wise, and like you say, danced into the box, threw a couple of step-overs, but dragged his shot wide.
So Meredith then, 10 minutes on the clock, throw in a dangerous position. First real threat for Leamington. It's dealt with by Stourbridge. Clark helps it back out towards the right-hand side. Meredith now looking to stand up Wilson. Still going Meredith on the right-hand side. Checks back to Morley, wants on his left foot. Will drive towards goal. Same effort in the end. Bread and butter for Charlie Price, but Leamington's first shot on goal.
Leamington worked it well. The throw-in wasn't the best, but Clark managed to recycle on the edge of the box, find Meredith. Meredith couldn't quite find the cross, worked it out to Morley on the edge of the box, and like you say, tame shot in the end, but Leamington measured their first shot on target.
We just see a bit of a duel developing between Edwards and his former teammate Rhys King. And Stourbridge have it on the right-hand side. Here's Adam Walker. Edwards heads on down the right-hand side, looks to play through Dan Turner, met by the head of Roe Turner. And McQuilkin can hook away on the edge of his own 18-yard box, only as far as Steph Morley. Wrestling for possession with Ethan Moran and comes out on top just over the halfway line, Morley. Out it goes towards the near side where Dan Meredith is waiting. Looking to take on the legs of Ben O'Hanlon down the right flank. He's got to do it all himself, Meredith. He's got no help within about 15 yards of him. Clark arriving now. Here is Joe Clark, right-footed cross, looks to dig it out towards Parker, dealt with by Stourbridge, only as far as Edwards, to Adam Walker! Drags his shot just wide of Charlie Price's left-hand post, but it's the first real sight of goal for the Breaks, and it's dragged wide by Adam Walker. Leamington trying to find their way through the Glass Boys' defence. Leamington are still holders of this competition. It's the first time they've called to defend their Birmingham Senior Cup title since winning it at St Andrews in 2019. 2 years this final in waiting at Villa Park between these two colossal names in non-league football. As Clark sends a long lofted ball looking for Meredith. Cut out by O'Hanlon, who's tracked Meredith stride for stride in these opening 25 minutes as Walker looks to make tracks down the right-hand side. He's looked to keep the ball in, but O'Hanlon can steer away for the Glass Boys. Right break for Devin Kelly-Evans, might pull the trigger onto his right foot. Devin Kelly-Evans, it's absolutely sensational from Devin Kelly-Evans. A goal worthy enough for Villa Park, and a goal worthy enough to give Leamington the lead in the Birmingham Senior Cup final in front of the Holt end. It's an absolute beauty from Devon Kelly-Evans, his 4th goal of the season, and they won't come any better than that. Leamington 1, Stourbridge 0, the Breaks lead in the cup final.
Pick that one out. What a strike. Shaped to shoot, turned it back onto his right foot, and then that composure, that strike. Charlie Price could get nowhere near it. Leamington lead, and what a goal to lead with.
Leamington shatter the Glass Boys' early resolve with an absolutely outstanding strike from Devon Kelly-Evans, their number 11, the man who lined up against Leamington for Nuneaton at St Andrews, gives them the lead at Villa Park. Steisch goes for the 1-2 and is in here, left-hand side of the penalty area. Reece Steisch to level the game, denied by Weaver. Big save from Jake Weaver on his 99th appearance for Leamington. Retains their lead. Well, it's the first time he's been called to action, Jake Weaver. He's been a spectator for the opening half an hour, but when the time came, Weaver one-on-one with Steisch won the battle of wits as Turner is onside here. Dan Turner just puts the effort wide of Charlie Price, and it's turned away. End-to-end stuff here at Villa Park. This is sensational. Holleran, 610 games of Leamington experience, knows this is not over by any thought of the imagination, and he's barking orders at his team, looking to get them galvanised in this second half. Free kick up towards Edwards. Turner brings it down to the penalty area. Turner on his left foot on the spin. Deflected, might come out for Edwards. Back here to Devon Kelly-Evans. Cuts it on his right foot. Looks at Ben one. Might break for Walker. Keeps the move alive though. Right hand side with Joe Parker. Digs out across, but it's into the side netting and behind for a Stourbridge goal kick. And the Glass Boys again survive another Leamington onslaught.
Leamington will have another corner. Haven't made the most of their corners so far in this game.
And it comes from Devon Kelly-Evans. It's towards the penalty spot, dealt with by Jack Wilson. Free header for him. And it's Steisch who can slam the ball to safety up to the halfway line. Weaver, an awful long way out of his goal, has to get this clearance right. He gets it spot on. It turned out to be a brilliant ball towards Dan Turner, who's in here. Turner to make it two, surely. Dan Turner doubles Leamington's advantage. Dan at the double. Leamington lead by 2-0 at Villa Park in the Birmingham Senior Cup final.
Great play. Great play from the Breaks. They put Stourbridge under pressure. They forced them to drop deeper, and this time it's sloppy defending from Stourbridge as the through ball comes through, but Stourbridge can't quite get it out of their feet. I think it's George Forsyth. He dallies on it. He just doesn't manage to get it under control, and Turner's on him like a rash. Turner robs Forsyth of it, and then he's got the composure. He stands up Charlie Price really well, rounds the goalkeeper, another touch to compose himself, and slides it into an open goal, and all the Breaks players come sliding over in front of the Leamington fans. 2-0 to the Breaks.
And the Stourbridge, the Glass Boys, second half fight back is cracked open by Dan Turner. His 18th goal of the season, all competitions. Breaks on the brink of Birmingham Senior Cup glory. Leamington 2, Stourbridge 0. Weaver sends the ball upfield, met by the head of Roe Turner. There's Mace at the back for Leamington to head back from where it came. Clark trades possession with McQuilkin, and McQuilkin retains the left-hand side with O'Hanlon, looking to get the better of Meredith, but that's easier said than done, and Meredith works it back to his goalkeeper Weaver, who looks to squeeze the ball down the right touchline, and Edwards gets his head underneath it. Turner flicks onto Parker, who's away down the right-hand side. Parker bearing down on goal, angles tight, back across goal, and it might break for Turner, off the inside of the post, and away for Stourbridge. Dan Turner so close to his brace. Brilliant break by Leamington.
I'll tell you what it is. It's fantastically unselfish play by Joe Parker, because he's clear, he's away, and he does bear down on goal, but he knows that the angle tightens on him, so he decides to just try and dink a little crossing instead of drilling one across the face of goal and trying the snapshot. Dan Turner comes arriving to it at a rate of knots, gets a full head on it, and it just cannons down off the bottom of Charlie Price's post, bundles across the whole goal line. Everyone stood still, time stood still, and Stourbridge clear their lines.
Stourbridge roared on by their travelling faithful to the right of us in the Trinity Road stand. Lee Vaughan on the right hand side. A chance at Birmingham Senior Cup glory slowly slipping away. They trail by 2-0. Jack Wilson on the left-hand side, midway inside Leamington territory, but it's Leamington with their backs against the wall, who are just absorbing Stourbridge pressure and breaking with pace now with Meredith. Up to the edge of the penalty area, still with Dan Meredith, goes alone! High over the crossbar. He had Parker and Dan Turner in the middle if he could pick his head up. Wanted the glory himself, Dan Meredith. Had travelled the length of the pitch to reach the edge of the penalty area. Went himself, but it was high, it was wide, and it was not handsome. Darryl Knight from this right-hand side in front of the Holt end. It's floated towards the back post. Stice with the overhead effort. Oh my goodness me! What a goal from Rhys Stice! His 18th of the season, and he's fired it in some style. Darryl Knight to the corner kick. Stice back to goal. Over his head. Top corner. 2-1. Game on. 15 minutes to go. And finally, the Glass boys smashed through the Leamington defence with an absolute worldie from Rhys Stice.
Have you ever seen anything like it? It looked like it evaded everyone. And Stice just turns his whole body and just powers an overhead kick. Not just into the back of the net, into the top corner. Jake Weaver watches it. The whole Leamington team watch it. What a goal from Rhys Stice. Overhead kick, 2-1, and Stourbridge back in it.
Turner's limping very, very gingerly back up to the edge of the penalty area, and suddenly the dynamic of the game has shifted completely, with Stourbridge sensing something here. This could be one of the most dramatic ends we've seen to a Birmingham Senior Cup final, with 10 minutes on the clock, as Moran turns away on the halfway line, driving up to the edge of the penalty area, in towards Stice. They have a man over. Stice edge of the penalty area. Didn't use Knights, but now it's Knights looking to bend one to the far corner and bends it just wide. And now it's all Stourbridge.
Leamington are all at sea a little bit since that goal. It's absolutely rocked the boat. Stourbridge have got the bit between the teeth. Paul Holloran is barking out instructions left, right, and centre.
Stourbridge now in front of the Holt end. This is incredible.
Leamington look shell-shocked, don't they? They were controlling the game, and now they're just letting Stourbridge take over, and the fans are behind them. The players are getting the fans up, and they've got another corner to swing in.
Knights this time with the corner kick. Edwards away, back towards the corner kick taker, Knights. Second delivery comes in towards the back post. There's Edwards in the way again. Flicked on by Parker. Only as far as McQuilkin. Smith drives towards goal, deflect on the edge of the 18-yard box. Stourbridge going through the gears now since their goal back. Giassi into the penalty area. Was he brought down? Big shouts for a penalty. Turned down by the referee.
Oh, my heart was in my mouth because I thought the referee was going to point to the spot. I think the only thing that he got away with it on is it might have just been outside the area, but either way, he threw a nutmeg, didn't he? Bundled his way into the area, and I think he might have just bundled into the Leamington player of, I think it was a mixture of Dan Meredith and Callum Gittings, wasn't it? He sort of got sandwiched in between the two as Dan Turner's gone down again.
And the Leamington fans trying to do their bit as the 12th man to rally their side onto a famous Birmingham Senior Cup victory. In goes the free kick from Jack Lay. It's dropped by the goalkeeper. James Mace! It's there! A historic goal on his 420th appearance for Leamington. The veteran, the talisman, Mr. Leamington FC has surely brought the Birmingham Senior Cup back to Leamington, and surely they'll retain it for the second consecutive time, and surely the trophy is all done and dusted now.
Earlier this year he broke the appearance record for Leamington, and what better way to cap it off. It was spilt by Charlie Price, it fell to the feet of James Mace, and he had all the composure in the world just to slide one home into the despairing net of the Stourbridge players who couldn't get back to hook it away, and all the Leamington players flocked to the Leamington fans, heaped on top of James Mace. The physio Pete Denham, who helped nurse him back to health after that ACL injury, he jumped into the melee as well, and everyone is absolutely over the moon for James Mace. 3-1 to the breaks.
They've done it! Leamington are Birmingham Senior Cup champions once again. They've shattered the Glass Boys' hopes of grabbing the title for a 5th time, and instead Leamington win the trophy for the 8th time in their history. They've defended it for the 1st time in their history. And Villa Park, well, the fairy tale in Birmingham is complete, with some drama along the way, Shaun. First, the scoring was opened by Devin Kelly-Evans, who got us off, set the fireworks in motion at the Holt end with an absolute screamer from 25 yards into the top corner. Dan Turner doubled the breaks lead after half-time, dancing his way past the goalkeeper Charlie Price and slotting home into an empty net. Rhys Dyche lit up the Holt end once again to grab a goal back for Stourbridge with a fantastic overhead kick, but James Mace wasn't to be denied his own fairy tale ending at Villa Park, home of his beloved Aston Villa. On his 420th appearance, grabbed the goal that secured the trophy for Leamington. And now, the volunteers. This is what the Birmingham FA do. They award volunteer awards. You know, none of these non-league clubs function without these volunteers. You know, like you and me, Shaun, everyone behind the scenes. And Steve Shaw is one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. He always gives you and me our chicken at the end of the games, doesn't he? Every home game. And you know, he's always kind enough to let us jump in on the catering behind the scenes after the game, and he receives a volunteer award and joins the Leamington players. Gets a firm handshake from all the players.
Lovely to say. I mean, I quite often sing Steve Shaw's praises. He feeds me better than I was ever fed at home as a child. He cooks up some unbelievable stuff, but he's such a nice man around the club, do you know what I mean? He's always got time for you, he's always got there for a chat, and I'll tell you now, whenever we go away, he's always the last man off the bus to be clearing stuff away. And
the man of the match announced, rightly so, as Devin Kelly-Evans. Kicked everything off with a thunderbolt strike from 25 yards to the Holt end. Well, it's a fairy tale in itself as well. It's an evening of fairy tales, lined up against Leamington for Nuneaton in 2019 at St Andrews on the losing end, and now at Villa Park, another one of Birmingham's colossal stadiums, is on the winning side with the Man of the Match award.
Well, quite often players who get this Man of the Match award go on to better things. You know, it was Colby Bishop who got the Man of the Match award last time we were here, and look at him now, banging in goals for Accrington Stanley. So a great accolade for Devin Kelly-Evans to pick up.
You know, and he had to fight his way into the starting 11 as well, Devin Kelly-Evans. He had competition from Joe Parker, Dan Turner. You know, if Dan had to go up top, Kelsey would drop into the wings. And he's made that place his own. He's one of the first names, I think, now on the team sheet in that number 11 shirt, Devin Kelly-Evans. 4 goals to his name this season. And all of them, I think, have been nominated for goal of the season.
He's just got such an array of talent as Devin Kelly-Evans. You know, not only do you see, you know, the wonder strikes that he possesses. You know, we talk quite often, the goal that gets overlooked is the wondrous goal he scored at Blyth, but Joe Clark decided to score from the halfway line in that goal and overshadowed poor Devin. But
and again, it might have been overshadowed today by Mr. Stice.
But you know, I think the thing with Devin is he works so hard, he tracks back so well, he covers in behind Steph Morley over on that side, and I think that really, you know, appeases Paul Holleran in terms of what he wants from his wide men. He wants you to be able to work back and cover in and work as a unit, and I think Devon's got that in abundance, but what he's also got is a fantastic delivery. Some of the deliveries he puts in, that flat, vicious delivery you see whipped in, you know, that's a credit to him as well from both corner and set piece.
And well, it's so far a flawless, busy week for Leamington. 3 wins on the spin. Curzon Ashton, Kidderminster, and now Stourbridge in the Birmingham Senior Cup final. 3 consecutive victories for the first time since September 2021 for Leamington as well, and one occasion to mark on as well. As Stourbridge accept their medals, you have to give a round of applause to the Glass men. They came out the block storming in the first half, pegged back by a fantastic strike from Devin Kelly-Evans, and again with some tricky footwork from Dan Turner, fought their way back into the game through an absolutely stunning strike which stunned the Leamington fans into silence from restart, and even had some of them upstanding as well. But it was James Mace with a nail in the coffin that handed the Birmingham Senior Cup title to Leamington.
Stourbridge have really been a credit to themselves this evening.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the moment that's been inevitable since James Mace put the ball in the net 5 minutes from time. Leamington announced as winners of the Birmingham Senior Cup 2022 as they collect to take their medals, led by man of the match Devon Kelly-Evans. Then comes Joe Clark. Jake Weaver, 99th appearance, has had a terrific game. He's been overshadowed in the second half of the season by Callum Hawkins. Had to fight for his place and prove his confidence and prove his ability time after time. The Leamington goalkeeper, the man who came from the Blues in the claret and blue end of Birmingham, but put in another exceptional performance, Jake Weaver. And now all the Leamington players accepting their medals. Dan Meredith, who's put in countless man of the match performances this season. Josh Beeson as well, got an appearance at Villa Park that he'll treasure for the rest of his life.
Good to see some of the youth players getting their medals as well, isn't it? The likes of Olakuku, Beeson.
And now Jack Edwards picks up the trophy, and for the 8th time in their history, the 2nd consecutive year for the first time in their history, Jack Edwards with James Mace lifts the Birmingham Senior Cup. Leamington are the champions of Birmingham for an 8th time in their 14th final. And now we'll go through obviously all the players having their glory with the trophy. There goes Jake Weaver, but how much credit do you have to give to Paul Horner, and I'm sure we'll have the last hurrah of the trophy in front of the Leamington fans.
Oh, not only will he have the last hurrah, he'll get the biggest cheer. You can bet penny to a pound from these Leamington fans. He's absolutely adored at this club, and rightly so. There's Chat Lane runs forward with the trophy as well, but all these players, all 22 of them walking off this pitch this evening, have been a credit to themselves, because we've been treated, haven't we, really? Been treated to a spectacle of a cup final. It's been great to see, and well, luckily for us, Leamington have come out on top.
As Stourbridge make their way back into the tunnel, and Leamington will continue the celebrations, I'm sure, into the heart of the night, taking the applause from their fans. 8-time Birmingham Senior Cup champions now. And James Mace will hand the trophy, I'm sure now, to the man who's leading it all. Well, actually, it'll go to Jack Edwards first. Well, we're having the pass, I think, with the trophy. I think Holloman just wants to get a photo with all the players and the trophy, which Jake Weaver's being called back over to. And now Leamington will lift the Birmingham Senior Cup in front of their fans for a 2nd time. Fairy tale at Villa Park, victory at Villa Park. And Joe Parker, who's run his socks off this evening, possibly one of the best performances I've seen him put in a Leamington shirt, takes the applause as well. And now it's the man's time. Viva just takes it all in, puts his fingers to his ear. He wants the biggest reception of them all. Viva Holleran lifts the Birmingham Senior Cup. Viva Holleran indeed. And Leamington have beaten Stourbridge here to win the trophy for an 8th time, a 2nd consecutive time, by 3 goals to 1.
Jack, a great win out there. As captain, got him to lift the trophy again. What's your thoughts on the game?
I never felt in doubt, in fairness. I thought they started well. They're clearly a very capable team. I think they're probably too good for that level. But we're strong. We do things right. We're playing the right areas, and we've got to win today. I'm buzzing.
I know as a Cov fan it's probably not great for you to be at Villa Park, but a brilliant atmosphere from both sets of fans, I'd say. How did that feel as a player on the pitch?
You can feel it. You can feel it, in fairness. Dragged us through. The only minor is that it's at Villa Park. You know, if it was at the Rico, then I'd be a lot happier. But it was a great day, great occasion. Glad to finish another season with another cup. We seem to love this cup. Maybe the FA Trophy next year would be nice, but it was a really, really good occasion.
And then talk about the season as a whole. It's been sort of a rough patches for yourself being injured for part of it. How was it to end the season with a trophy, and what momentum does it bring into next year?
Yeah, it's distant memory now for me. It was a hard period of time. We've had some tough patches, but to finish like this is really special because we've got a great group. People like James Mace, who's come back from an ACL at 36, and it's been one of our best players over the last 4 or 5 games. Like, testament to the kid. Delaney again, an absolute man mountain at the back. Jake Weaver come back in, been class, made a great save, and we could have gone 1-0 down. And if you do, it changes the game. It's a completely different game. So, we had some big players today. So yes, it's nice to lift a trophy, but owe it to the lads really.
So Adam, thoughts on the game out there? 3-1 victories in the end. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was good. To be fair, it's a tough game. They're a decent side. I thought we played well. In patches in the first half, probably could have get the ball slightly better, but we seemed comfortable. Weaves has made a great save just to keep us in it, and then second half I thought we dominated. The goal obviously causes a little bit of a problem, but May's popping up to make things a lot easier to make it 3-1.
There's quite a lot of fans here for Leamington and Stourbridge. What was it like for the atmosphere for yourself out there?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It was great to see such a following from both sets of fans, and hopefully, obviously, Leamington fans have come and seen the performance and got the win, so that makes it even better.
So Jake, 3-1 victory out there. What was your thoughts on the game for yourself?
I thought it was a really good game, really good advert for non-league football first and foremost, with good followings from both sets of fans. I think Walks just alluded to that the passion was excellent. No, really good across the board. It was a great game, to be honest. I think you look at, we had a good spell in the first half, which we were fortunate to score with, and they had a spell in the second, which they scored. I mean, our second goal sort of came just at the right time in the second half, just so we could settle in. They're always going to come with momentum 15 minutes, so to get 2-0 up after 50, and then you're thinking, okay, but they're always going to come on strong. It's a cup final, they've got nothing to lose. And in fairness, the goal they've scored is outstanding. It's probably one of the last games of the season, is probably the best goal I've conceded this season. It's a bicycle kick from 8 yards out. So, and you're thinking, then it's an extra 15 minutes, bit of stoppage, but no, who'd have thought Mace gets the last goal? But no, excellent game across the board.
You talk about the goal they scored there, but one thing to probably talk about is your assist for the second goal. Talk us through your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've just come out and thought, Martin noticed it afterwards, it was a shank, and I'd have to disagree with him, to be honest. I think it was probably just put it back in an area. I was sort of, 20, 30 yards out of my goal. I thought, oh God, just kick it forward. And thankfully, it's an iron needle pass, I think is the best way to describe it. Definitely not a shank through the middle of the pitch. But no, it's nice. It's just nice to contribute, really. Just nice to make an impact, whether that would be through an assist, who'd have thought, a couple of nice saves, good bit of kicking. So no, it's just nice to contribute.
There was quite a lot of fans here. Obviously, we haven't had fans in stadiums for the past 2 years. What was it like having the fans back all season long and to be able to treat them to a night out today with a trophy at the end of it?
Yeah, it's really nice to have them back. Last year it was a strange season. I think everyone can probably see that with the season 1 being called off early, 2 no fans. So it was a strange sort of mini season. But to have the fans back this year, and I think we've treated them this year to really good home performances and some nice away points, which we obviously picked up 3 at Curzon with great backing. So no, it's great to have them in numbers here tonight, and great noise. I mean, sometimes you need that 12th man to roar you on, particularly in that period when they scored. So it was excellent.
So Paul, a great night out and a great victory, 3-1 in the end, in a competition that Leamington seemed to love so much. Your thoughts on tonight's performance?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I think any team going into a season, it's so hard to win trophies, especially when you're moving into the elite level. So for us to win it again in such an iconic stadium in front of such a great following it's a special moment. Yeah, it's great, and delighted really. Everyone in the club's worked hard, and it's been tough for us. We've had to dig deep at times this year. So to virtually finish like this is wonderful.
We saw Dan Turner come off there just towards the end of the second half. Was that just a precaution, or was there any injury there?
Listen, the schedule we've had, the injuries we've had, we've got so many players that Dan Turner, Adam Walker, Steph Morley, lots of players that you wouldn't in a normal game played them tonight, but we were limited with choices because of injuries and cup-tied players. So we've had to, the players have had to play through it, and that's and I think probably the performance dipped a little bit, but it's just the legs, just ran out of legs and steam. But the will of the play, the will of people like James Mace and Steph Morley and Adam Walker with injuries and Joe Clark and Dan Turner, the will of them boys to get through it and to get the job done, it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
You talked about the following, your first question there, you talked about the following at Leamington. Stourbridge also brought quite a lot of fans in today. What was it like after 2 years without fans to be able to treat Leamington to a night like tonight with a trophy as well?
Well, it's what we all wanted, isn't it? It's what Stourbridge wanted as well. They're a good club as well, but and of course, nights like this, it's very hard at our level to give supporters nights like this. To be able to get to the final, you know, the Burton semi-final was a great game. This tonight was a great occasion. Everyone has enjoyed it, and I think the icing on the cake is Mace getting the third goal. You know, when you think of his journey through COVID at 35, when you're doing your ACL, there isn't a sports scientist or a physio in the land that'll say you'll come back. He's come back with a bang, hasn't he? He's superhuman. So it was very fitting for him to get the goal that probably clinched the trophy for us.